Here, let me show. Poster. So today we are going to discuss about health. Okay, science and technology. In that portion, also the health is the one of the most important point for our today discussion. And we can see here the list. So biotechnology, IT and computer we did, space technology we completed. Now it is almost 50 pages we completed. Now health, and after health there will be alternative energy, defense, and awards and prizes. Okay, so we are going to mention the page number 24. Yeah, so brain computer interface. Okay, so it is a process of recording, process, then feedback and control. So brain activity is recorded using a headset. स्पेशल सेंसर होते हैं जिसमें यूज़र डिज़ायर्ड एक्शंस डाले जाते हैं, एंड आफ्टर देन दिस इज़ कैरी आउट द डिज़ायर्ड कमांड एंड एक्शंस. सो रिसेंटली न्यूरोलिंक, दैट इज़ द Neuralink, and it is Elon Musk company. Elon Musk company, that was the Neuralink was the granted permission by US Food and Drug that was built in next generation brain implant, 100 times more brain connections. So that is the spike referred to use electrical and chemical signals, and we can say it is telepathy, a system that determines the function, intent, the desired change of mood, control, interact with something or environment, and that is a device detect the record signals and process of analyzing the brain activities and applications. So unidirectional, either receive the signals or send them to it. So that is the electroencephalography, that was measure the electrical activity of the brain, and function is the magnetic resonance imaging, and that is the blood in the oxygen which is flows. So magnetic resonance imaging is there. Okay, so it is key application of the brain computer healthcare, treatment of the disease, improving lifestyle, and communication technology, and the neuroscience brain research. Brain is made up of the million of course neurons and information message, electrical and chemical signals. So neuron receives the signal via the root like. So there is a synapse, that is the synapses, and sensory neurons are there, that is the senses, the organ, and motor neurons is the muscle activity, and interneurons, that was our brain is spinal cord. So brain electrical oscillation signature profiling, it is known brain fingerprinting. Okay, so that is the person brain by sensing. It is a brain electrical oscillation signature profiling. So that is sensing brain wave responses and know the electroencephalogram. Okay, so polygraph test is also there and physiological indicator are taken into account. So that is the biocomputer that can complete tasks such as voice recognition. And biocomputer is a brain culture grow in the lab and real world sensors होते हैं. So a new area of the research is the organoids intelligence and biocomputers also. So organoids intelligence is also very important, like organ on chips, so containing the engineering on natural miniature tissues, complex structure and the function of living human organ. Control cells are the micro environment and they maintain the tissue specific function. Chips are lined with the living human cells, and that was the in vitro technology of the enable experimentation with the biological cells. Now antimicrobial resistance, what is that? So this question is very important and most of the examination they ask. See, global R&D hub is there, incentivizing the development of new antibacterial treatments. So G7 countries monitoring this, and countries, non-governmental donor organization and the intergovernmental organization address challenges, improve the coordination. So that is global action plan for the antimicrobial resistant. And WHO aware program assess, watch and research global antimicrobial resistance surveillance, that was a glass by the WHO. And secure program expand assess in the low and low middle income countries, and that is the secure program, secure, aware. Okay, so national action plan on this, that was in 2017. And now FAO and UNEP WHO is working for 2026. It is international collaboration. Delhi Declaration was also going to be task force and surveillance network, antibiotic stewardship program. Red line campaign is also for that. Red line campaign, Delhi Declaration, new provision of the schedule H1 to drug cosmetic act. Okay, so now antimicrobial is a bacteria, virus and fungi parasite evolved over a time, no longer responds to medicine. If we are taking the medicine, so that medicine will never function against this kind of the pathogens or bacteria, virus, fungi and parasites. So antimicrobial medicine used to prevent, treat infections, and this is antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic we take generally. Infection harder to treat, and antimicrobial resistance are that was the sometimes referred to the superbug also. Okay, so what is misuse or overuse कर लेते हैं, lack of awareness से, poor access, quality, affordable medicine, taking incorrect doses of the antibiotic disease, lack of the access to the clean water, using antibiotic livestock framing. Okay, so now there is a biofilm. Biofilm refer to the thin resistant layer of the microorganism, bacteria and surface. So these biofilms are exhibit antibiotic resistance also. It form an about any surface such as the metal, plastic, natural material and kitchen. So that is biofilm, and that can be used against the exhibit antibiotic resistance also. This is the layer of the microorganism that form and coat various surfaces, we can say food, kitchen surface, contact lens, human, animal tissues and wherever we can found this. Now next one is non-communicable disease. So Ministry of Health and Welfare operation guideline, that was 2030. What is a non-communicable? See, communicable disease is the highly infectious by the pathogen, and non-communicable disease is the allergic and malnutrition, and that was change in lifestyle and the surrounding, abnormal cell growth होता है. So transmitting agent is the virus and bacteria, that was the communicable disease. नॉन कम्युनिकेबल का पता नहीं है. रोल ऑफ द इनहेरिटेंस, कैन नॉट बी पास डाउन फ्रॉम वन जनरेशन टू अनदर, कैन बी इनहेरिटेड थ्रू द जनरेशन, डेवलप्ड इमीडिएटली एंड इट्स एक्यूट होता है डिजीज टाइप एंड डेवलप्ड ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. नाउ ट्रेडिशनल मेथड में भी वर्क एंड सर्जिकल और द स्पेशलाइज ट्रीटमेंट होता है इसका नॉन कम्युनिकेबल का. एंड ट्यूबरक्लोसिस एंड मलेरिया, दैट इज़ द कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज, दैट इज़ ट्यूबरक्लोसिस एंड मलेरिया. नॉन कम्युनिकेबल में अस्थमा, अल्जाइमर डिजीज़, हाइपरटेंशन हो सकता है एंड देयर इज़ नो ट्रांसमिशन एजेंट नहीं होता है, बट स्पेसिफिकली इसका ट्रीटमेंट होता है एंड डेवलप्ड ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. सी other initiative launched during the event was the initiative launched 75 million people, and that was Shashakt portal. Okay, so Shashakt portal is given, a national program for prevention, control cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and national program for prevention, control non-communicable disease, chronic pulmonary disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So this is also known the chronic disease, and cardiovascular disease, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, diabetes. So national action plan and monitoring framework prevention control is aimed to reducing the number of the global parameters, that is 25% by the 2025. And Fit India movement is also working for youth. Fit India movement. Next one is tuberculosis. Global tuberculosis report, and the lungs are very much affected by this. Extrapulmonary TB is there, and the types of the extrapulmonary TB is the gastrointestinal TB, skeleton TB, liver TB, isoniazid rifampicin, and the ethenbuton, and the pyrazinamide. So the Bacilli calmette gurine, only licensed vaccine, that is TB prevention, multi-drug resistant TB, and now extensively drug resistant tuberculosis and totally drug resistant tuberculosis. So there is a TB Mukt Abhiyan and National Strategy Plan for Tuberculosis Elimination, Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, and Nikshay Mitra portal, and TB Mukt Bharat, and Nikshay portal. Find, treat all and TB, and now Moscow Declaration is also given. Moscow Declaration 2017, and 6 month all oral, that was the drugs are given to be this XDR TB. Okay, sickle cell disease. So see, sickle cell disease are disease, that is the CRISPR based gene therapy to be treat the patient with the sickle cell disease. So it is a genetic condition that is present at the birth, inherited when a child receives two genes, one from his parents, and abnormal hemoglobin can be there. So if the red cells are the abnormal, if both parents have sickle cell traits, so child could be born with a sickle cell anemia. 1 in 4 chances that the given child could be completely unaffected. So it is the Casgevy, Lyfgenia, and National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission. So normal red blood cell, sickle cell, and sickle cell impede blood flow. So that was the hemoglobin disorder, we can say, shape of the red blood cell, and misshaped cell lack the plasticity, and symptoms are the jaundice, liver and spleen enlargement, and the more common in the tribal population. So it was the stem cell or the bone marrow transplant only cured these disease. Okay, now next one is about the National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Plan, that was 2047. 3 pillar higher named health, prevention, holistic management. Benefits are 0 to 18 age of the included entire population of 40 year of National Health Mission. National Health Mission was the hemoglobinopathies, and there was identified the service of the community level. In new level was the chondrocytes make the hemoglobin, form the hemoglobin body, or the previously it was understood that it was used by the red blood cell. Hemoglobin, iron containing protein in the blood of the animal, transport oxygen to the tissues and cold water. So it is the oxygenation, and oxymoglobin. So chondrocytes are the cell that make the cartilage, like tissues made करते हैं. It will release a substance to make the cartilage strong, flexible. Hemoglobin and and chondrocytes carries the oxygen and essential for the survival. Now rare disease. What are the rare disease? Rare disease are the Ministry of Health, that was a tyrosinemia type 1, Gaucher disease, Wilson disease, Dravet disease, Lennox-Gastaut and syndrome. A lifelong disease or disorder with prevalence of the 1000. The currently 5% of the population. National policy for the rare disease was 2021. It is categorization of group 1 disorder was the one-time curative treatment, and now having a cost of treatment lower and a high cost, so that is the exemption from the basic custom duty, but production link incentive scheme is working. Fixed dose combination drug, so it is fixed dose, that is the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, and API is a biological active component of the drug produce the intended effect. Under this Drug and Cosmetic Act 2008 and the testing capacity of the Central Drug Testing Laboratory cosmetic rule, and that was the increased efficiency, reduced cost, simpler logistic distribution, and pharma coordinamic drug power mismatch, antimicrobial resistance, National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, that was the 23 formulation realizing to the price of 15 schedule formulation drug price control act, and that was Ministry of Health and Family National List for essential medicine. Essential medicine automatically price control, and Ministry of Chemical Fertilizer is for the price control. Now generic drug. So see, generic drugs are the prescribed generic medicines which are the all government doctor in a prescribed form. A generic drug is the medication created to the same as already market brand and similar doses and safety, strength, route, administration, quality, performance, but compulsory licensing under Indian Patent Act, that was Indian Patent Act, and it was the without consent. Now there was an Indian Medical Council of Professional Conduct, ethics regulations are there, and prescribe that every physician should prescribe drug with generic name legally and preferably in capital letter. So first of thing, that will be in the capital letter, okay. And second thing, the generic drugs which is using by the physicians in the doctors in the government doctor, so that are branding like similar to brand of the that provided in the market in a high price, and that should be in the capital letter. National Medical Commission Act 2019 is empowered to appropriate State Medical Council or the Ethics Medical Registration Board, it is 2019. Drug and cosmetic rules are also there, that was 1945. It providing the license for the drug formulation, and Drugs and Technical Advisory Board of India, that is for the sale generic medicine to patient even if the prescription specify the branded version. So if you want to sell the generic medicine, there is a Drug Technical Advisory Board of India. And Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana, that was 2008, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer. This ministry is very important because the Janaushadhi is in the chemical and fertilizer, but they will provide you the Ministry of Pharmaceutical, that will be wrong. Ministry of Health, that will be wrong, but it is in Ministry of the Chemical and Fertilizer, okay. And Free Drug Service Initiative of National Health Mission, Ministry of Health, Production Link Incentive Scheme, and the Ministry of Chemical. So now biosimilar is what? First of all, we are discussing about the difference of the branded and generic. Branded is the patented protected, but generic medicine do not have any patent. It is costly, it is cheaper, unique look as a design during the product. This is need to be different appearances than branded. Manufacturing and the developed in the innovator company and by the several pharmaceutical industry that can be developed, and this manufacturing in the innovator company only branded. And it is crocin, we can say crocin is very important, we all taken in our childhood crocin. And paracetamol, you know, it is a generic, okay. Paracetamol, present time we take paracetamol. Now next one is the biosimilar. A pharma company received grant from the CDSCO for marketing authorization of biosimilar, that is trastuzumab cancer drug, okay. So a biosimilar is a medicine which is very close to structure function to biological medicine and a living system, okay, such as a yeast. So highly specialized medicine which is called the biosimilar, and this can be used the cancer treatment. So that is the name is trastuzumab. So this name is very important, trastuzumab. Now international classification of the disease. So WHO is going to be the classified disease 11, and module 2 of the supplementary chapter on the traditional medicine, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, data terminology. It is encompasses the infection disease of malaria and our international standard disease recording, reporting, analyzing, interpretation. And ICD 11 is the module which is traditional medicine, the commonly Japan and Korea and China. So the providing a list of the diagnostic categories and link the traditional medicine with the global conventional medicine and the enable the integration of the medicine. So there is a traditional medicine for the knowledge, skill and practice. For National Ayush Morbidity Standardized Terminology Electronic Namaste Portal. This Namaste Portal is working for the Ayush Morbidity Standardization Electronic and Ayush Health Information, that was Ayush Health Information, and IT platform to effectively manage the system. And Gujarat Declaration outcome document of the first WHO Traditional Medicine Global Summit, that was Gujarat Declaration is also working for the declaration. Gujarat Declaration, see Delhi Declaration we thought before that we read that the Delhi Declaration for the microbial resistance, and the Gujarat Declaration which is important for international classification of the disease. So this is the WHO Traditional Medicine Global Summit in the Gujarat. Food fortification. So food safety and standard, FSSAI is the draft food safety standards, that was in 2011 में आ चुका था. Notified the Food Safety Standard Act 2006. So this act came in the 2006. And the micronutrient which is included in the food is iron, vitamin B9 and the vitamin B12, that is folic acid and the cyanocobalamin. So deliberate increasing the content of the one or more micronutrient. Food Safety Standard Regulation, that was 2018, again it was 6, then again 18. And now rice fortification, we can read FSSAI is prescribing the folic acid and vitamin B12 and iron, that was 1:100 ratio. And coating, then dusting, key technology in India, the extrusion technology like millets rice is pulverized mixed premix. Combating the malnutrition, anemia, prevent the criticism and goiter, thyrotoxicosis and brain damage. And iron fortified rice which is harmful for the patient, so that is iron overloaded. And sickle cell anemia, thalassemia will be not there. Now next is the distribution of the fortified rice, that was the Saksham Anganwadi Poshan, so which is important, Saksham Anganwadi Poshan 2.0, centrally sponsored by fortification of the rice distribution and fortified with the +F logo in the FSSAI. So this is important. Okay, biofortification is the breeding nutrient into the food crop, so that is the agronomic practices involve the direct fertilization of the soil. Conventional breeding and biotechnology based genetic engineering and genome editing is also genetic engineering, genome editing is also the part of the biofortification. So it is slightly different from fortification, like post harvest method is the fortification. So ultra processed food, like from the substance extracted from food, fat, starch and the sugar and hydrogenated fat. High consumption of the that ultra food is lead to the issue like obesity, diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So ultra processed food is not good for the health. Now next is trans fat. So WHO was a trans fat elimination validation program. WHO is the replace trans fat. So replace program. And now FSSAI is the made the mandatory for the food manufacturing of the nutrient level. FSSAI eat right movement and like 2% reduce the trans fat in the food. So there are the two type of the trans fat, naturally occurring trans fat and industrial produced trans fat for the hydrogenation, vegetable oil and particular hydrogenated associated with the increased risk of the heart attack. FSSAI is clarifying the protein binders and biological research. Now there was a affect the biological and nutrient value like milk protein. Milk protein is a good source for the essential amino acid. Okay, so protein binders are given, and the saturated fats are the found in food that come from the animals like meat and dairy, and they are the unhealthy because of increased bad cholesterol. So saturated fats are not good because they can lead to be this bad cholesterol level of the body. So we should take always unsaturated fats, not the saturated fats. Now non-sugar sweeteners. So this question is most probably UPSC asked. So Food Safety FSSAI 2011 approved the several artificial sweetener, that is the saccharin, sodium, aspartame, and acyl flame, potassium also, and sucralose and Nutem. So there was a aspartame as a possibly carcinogenic and contain the few no calorie but higher sweetness. Now there was a synthetically derived chemical also, sugar free and dyes also. So aspartame, that was a dipeptide. It is a heterodimer protein coupled which is consists of two amino acid, aspartic and the phenylalanine. Now the acesulfame K, that is the acetoacetic acid. Neotame is derived the aspartame. Sucralose, that was 0 calorie artificial sweetener. Saccharin, that was 300 times sweet. Sorbitol, that was the polyphilic alcohol. Monk fruit, that was fruit of the plant native of the China. Steviol glycosine, that was the natural consist of the stevia. And taumetin, that was the protein which is the various food of sweetener. Now Codex Commission is there. It is a Codex Alimentarius Commission, which is India's proposal for global standard of the millet and covering the millet and barnyard millet, kodo, proso, little millet and all that. So there is a FSSAI is getting the 8 quality of the parameters, a standard of the sorghum and the pearl millet. So there is a Codex Committee, Spice and Culinary, and that was the Codex and the Plant Health International Plant Protection Convention, Animal Health World Organization for Animal Health, and that was the Codex Alimentarius Commission. International Food Standard Food was the Rome, and that was the protect the consumer health and the food codes, that was application of the sanitary and phytosanitary measures of the recognizing the codex. Organ and the tissue transplantation. So there was a national organ and tissue transplantation organization, noto cash for kidney. And wait a minute, what's up, girl, what's up? Yeah, so it is, I think, network issue. Okay, so Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and that was a tissue transplantation and involved the corneas, skin, bone, heart, valve, blood vessel. So transplantation within the same person, that is autografts, and the compatibility determining the immunological similarities, and transplantation of human organ, 96 brain stem dead, and the human organ tissue rules, that was the established the National Registry of the Organ. Living donor and the deceased donor both are given, and national modified national organ transplantation, 65-year age of the receive the organ. Now xenotransplantation, the transplantation implantation of the non-human tissue and leaf cells tissue and the body fluid, that was the referred to the xenotransplantation. पिग स्किन हो गई, पिग किडनी हो गई, या पिग के जो पैनक्रियाटिक आइसोलेट्स होते हैं, they can be donated to the human, and that can be work for 3 to 4 months, and that is very important for the survival of the human, because he can even be alive for 3 months if he is taking the heart of the pig, and that is like, that can be revolutionary, but that is against the ethics as I feel. So that is a xenotransplantation, which is non-human tissues can be used in the human tissue. E-cigarettes. E-cigarette is the World Health Organization is the prohibition of electronic cigarette, and that is the transport, sale, distribution, storage 2019, and it is nicotine is there, and flavoring such as the diacetyl and volatile organic compounds, cancer causing chemicals, and heavy metal like nickel, tin and lead. So electronic device heat that substance, and it include all form of electronic nicotine delivery and heat not burn product like e-hookah is also there. Product license under the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, and it is the mode of vape pen and the vape tank system. So there is a nicotine delivery system, and that is working the produce the aerosol, and this aerosol is inhaled and usually contain the nicotine and flavoring contents also. E-cigarettes are substance which may or may not contain the nicotine or flavors, but all form of electronic nicotine delivery is a heat not burn product, and it does not include the product license under the Drug and Cosmetic Act. So that is inhaled by the user by heating liquid that usually contain nicotine, flavoring and other chemicals. That is the e-cigarette, and that is very injurious for the health. Now next one is the preparedness and the resilience for the emerging threat of the initiative. So preparation of the resilience of emerging threat, that is recognizing the same system of capacities knowledge tool platform for rational regional global stakeholder, that was international health regulation, legally binding. It is a legally binding, and that is the WHO capability to detect report potential for public health over WHO initiative which aim to address the global vision impairment blindness, that is specs 2030. Big catch up, IPSPEC is for the blindness, specs, okay. And big catch up, that is WHO, UNICEF, Gavi and the Vaccine Alliance and Big Melinda Gates Foundation Immunization Agenda 2000 boost the vaccination for the children. Big catch alliance for the vaccination for the children. International Pathogen Surveillance Network, that was launched by the WHO, and it is infectious disease we can cure. That was the International Pathogen Surveillance Network. Public Health Emergency International Concern, that was WHO, and the International Health Regulations and Response for the Strategy, Preparedness and the Response Plan. Now next one is small disease are there. So viral disease, first is chikungunya, that was in the name is Luxchick. Mosquito borne disease, chikungunya virus, Aedes Aedes albopictus, and that is the transmission, and bite करते हैं, they can bite in daylight and pass from the pregnant mother to the unborn children. National vector borne disease control program is working on that. Zika virus in the Mumbai, Maharashtra, and mostly during the day. It is the Aedes mosquito, similar mosquito, and same mosquito transmit in yellow fever, and it is associated with the neuropathy and the mellitus, and it's transmitted from mother to the fetus during the pregnancy. It is in the fetus, okay. Sexual contacts or we can blood product and all that, it can be transmitted. Swine flu strain H1N1, that was the first human case of the swine flu, and it was swine influenza virus, a direct or indirect exposure to the pigs. So that is the swine flu. And lumpy skin disease, that was the Meghalaya, and it was disease cattle fever and the nodule of skin and reduce the milk animal, Middle East and the Europe, and transmitted by the blood feeding. Now the hepatitis C. So hepatitis C is in the Egypt, and the first country to achieve the gold tier status. So that was a transmission, reuse, inadequate sterilization medicine. And hepatitis B is the much like HIV, that is much like the similar to the HIV. And hepatitis C is the golden tier, first country achieve, that is Egypt, and elimination of hepatitis C, that was the Egypt. And that is liver is affected by the hepatitis C, okay. So that was inadequate medical equipment we are using, that is the hepatitis C can be. And hepatitis B is similar to the HIV, and B and C virus are several times more than those of the HIV, okay. Some of those B and C do not show the symptoms, but no vaccine for the hepatitis C. And now hepatitis A and B where effective vaccine are available, so you should know about this, okay. This is important. Now Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus and animal to the human, that is contaminated food or the directly people, fruit baits जो होती हैं, that is family and the genus for the Nipah virus. Zoonotic disease, other prominent zoonotic disease like the rabies and brucellosis, Japanese encephalitis and the plague, these all can be by the Nipah virus. And avian influenza virus, Union Health Ministry monitoring reported the H9 and N2, that was the avian influenza. It was the flu, sometimes the swine flu, and the wild there was the endemic poultry and exposure to the infected poultry contamination. High security animal disease are given the Indian Council for Agriculture. Now next is the notifiable disease. There is a WHO International Health Regulation, and center has been notified notified several diseases are there, like leprosy, meningitis, pertussis, and plague, TB, and hepatitis. Okay, that is a notifiable disease. Okay, notifiable disease can be leprosy, meningitis, and the pertussis. And next is the lymphatic filariasis, second phase of the mass drug administration initiative to eliminate the lymphatic filariasis by 2027, caused by microscopic parasite, that is nematodes, and the filariodea spread of the mosquitoes. Okay, that is the abnormal enlargement of the body part. Neglected tropical disease, WHO noma. Noma is a generous disease that was the affect is 2 to 6 years, suffering the malnutrition caused by the variety of the pathogens, and this is India successfully eliminated this. London Declaration is for the neglected tropical disease, and it is 2 to 6 year of the old suffering from this malnutrition, that is neglected tropical disease. And Kigali Declaration, two declaration are there. First is the London, second is the Kigali Declaration, and 2 to 6 old, and that is by the malnutrition. Okay, now this is all about most probably health. Again we are going to discuss the key concept term in news, that is phage therapy. Phage therapy is a bacteria killing virus phage therapy. It is the bacteriophage virus infect the replicate only the bacterial cell and unlikely to damage the human cell. So that was the okay. Next is the macrophage. Macrophage is the senescent macrophage in the lung promoted tumor growth, and that was a senescent cell is not usually eliminated, but it is zombie cell, that is type of the white blood cell. This recognize the engulf of destroyed target cell. Nuclear medicine, BRICS collaboration of nuclear medicine, that was the medicine specially use the radioactive tracers and increase the risk of developing cancer. Used in the imaging test help the problem inside the body, and that was cobalt 60 is used to medical radiation therapy. HeLa cell. HeLa cell is the first human cell to successfully cloned. So never reached the point of the senescence, but it is a HeLa cell which is cell culture and the petri dish we can say controlled in the lab. That is the reach to the cloning of the cell. That is HeLa cell. Now the Cervarix vaccine. It is Cervarix vaccine is for the first indigenous human papilloma virus vaccine, and that was a both gender and the age of the 9 to 26, a major cause of cervical cancer. It is Cervarix vaccine. Now inverse vaccine. Inverse vaccine is the research. Inverse vaccine is against autoimmune system disease, healthy tissues of the prosthetic disease. Now make the human immune system forget a specific molecule. So molecule that look like a part of old cell, and that is unlike the traditional vaccine that give the immune system pathogen to prime fight. Now the next is monoclonal antibodies. Australia, and that was they are the produced through a process of the involved extracting specific antibodies, and that was just antibody homogeneous hybrid cell B cell and the polyclonal antibodies, and that they are being used the treatment of the cancer, Ebola, HIV, and hybridoma technology which is produced in the lab. So hybridoma technology, that is monoclonal antibodies in the Australia, homogeneous hybrid cells are Ebola, HIV that can be treated, that is hybridoma technology, and that is monoclonal antibodies. What is optical tweezer? So tweezers are using the optical tweezers study structural detail of the leponites. Leponite is synthetic clay. So Autonomous Institute funded Department of Science and Technology. Optical tweezers are scientific instrument that use a highly focused laser beam, and that object is use the optical levitation. Arthur won the Nobel Prize for the physics for the optical tweezer, and that optical tweezer is the Department of Science and Technology moved to the submicroscopic object, atom, nanoparticle, and the droplets in the manner of similar tweezer. So that is optical levitation. Okay, now this is the optical tweezer. Optical leviathan is the author again won the Nobel Prize in physics. So the optical tweezer, the application in biological system, that is for the detail of leponites. Okay, it is synthetic clay. So leponite is a synthetic clay. Study of the leponite, that is the optical tweezer. So this is all about the health.